because that was literally his name, claimed he received a divine message from Jesus. Not just any message, mind you, but one that instructed him to lead a peaceful army of children to the Holy Land, not with swords, but with innocence, which, as it turns out, is not a useful weapon against trained soldiers and sea storms. Thousands of children joined, because why wouldn't you follow a teenage shepherd who said God told him to walk across Europe barefoot? Parents wept, townspeople cheered, bishops blinked slowly, and off they went, across mountains, down rivers, through towns, singing hymns, starving slightly, getting arrested occasionally. It was a medieval school field trip, minus the chaperones, and with significantly more divine hallucinations. The myth was long believed to be, well, a myth. Something exaggerated in monkish writings to teach a moral lesson. Don't send your kids to Jerusalem without adult supervision. But over time, historians began to uncover a trail of documents. Church records, royal decrees, city archives, all hinting that, yes, something did happen, and it involved a lot of very young, very idealistic feet. What happened to them? Well, depending on which version you read, the outcome ranges from tragic to, oh God, why? Some were turned away at the Alps. Some likely died on the march. Others were tricked by unscrupulous merchants, loaded onto ships and sold into slavery in North Africa. Not exactly the holy liberation they were promised. The Mediterranean wasn't so much parted for them as it was monetized. Today, scholars believe the movement wasn't entirely made of children. Many were likely teenagers, or poor peasants, labelled as pueri, the Latin word for both children and servants, because of course it was. But the mass delusion, the sincerity, the epic miscalculation, that part's real. Picture this. It's a quiet day in 14th century France. A pig escapes its pen, bites a child, and the villagers don't just butcher it or blame the nearest peasant. No, they drag the pig to court, with a lawyer and a judge and a public trial. Because in medieval Europe, justice wasn't just blind, it was extremely imaginative. Yes, animals were actually put on trial. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. They were assigned defense attorneys, sometimes imprisoned, occasionally excommunicated. Nothing says rule of law like banishing a rooster from the church for laying an egg, which, by the way, they believed was laid by the devil himself, because obviously, for centuries people thought these stories were just exaggerated folklore. Surely medieval scribes were just being